Hey guys, welcome back. So the new issue of Whitetail News is releasing, and if you guys have followed the channel for any amount of time, you probably noticed we use a lot of Whitetail Institute products. You know, we got that palette of mineral, and outside of the corn and soybean, everything we plant on the property is Whitetail Institute. And that's because over the last 10 or 11 years now, we've had a really good relationship with the company. I've been a contributing writer and an editor for the magazine for the last 10 or 11 years. And I talked about, as a couple of episodes ago, floating the idea of turning those articles that I have published into episodes. And I kind of hesitated on it for a while because it's difficult to kind of put together a video with footage that you're seeing that aligns with what you would be reading, kind of like an audiobook. But with this newest issue that's released, I wanted to give it a shot. So, let me know down in the comments if you guys think that this works. If it is something that you enjoy, I've got like 16, 17 other articles that have published over the years that I could try turning those into videos as well. So if you're not familiar with Whitetail News, it is a magazine that the Whitetail Institute puts together. We do it 3 times a year. And in my opinion, it is biased, but in my opinion, it is one of the best magazines out there. Anymore, you're looking at like 50 pages for a magazine, which is ridiculous. Because I can remember the days where I used to get Trains and Model Railroader magazine. They were 200 plus pages. So to see what they are today is kind of disappointing. But Whitetail News is, 72 plus pages. It's got human interest stories. It's got how-tos. It's got scientific articles in there, weed science, just an all-around human interest stories, all-around awesome magazine in my opinion. And the best part, if you're a Whitetail Institute customer, it's free. So you order anything through the website, you get the magazine free to your mailbox 3 times a year for 2 years. I mean, it's awesome. So I can't say enough about Whitetail Institute, and not just because of the relationship that we have had with them over the last decade. The products are just, you cannot beat a Whitetail Institute food plot, the mineral sites, the attractants if they're legal in your area. I mean, just all around awesome guys, awesome company. It can't be beat. So without further delay, I will give you the first in our, I don't even know what you want to call this, audio article episode series. This is when passion and purpose collide. Hope you guys like it. Though our time is limited, we all have things we're passionate about in life. For some people, it's spending a day on the water fishing, or perhaps it's restoring old things, or even building something out of nothing. Regardless of the hobby or cause, we pursue these activities for the inner satisfaction they provide. Quite simply, we do it because we enjoy doing it, though each of us have our own unique versions of that joy. Take painting, for example. Hand a group of passionate painters blank canvases, and you're likely to wind up with pieces running the spectrum, anywhere from what in the world to truly remarkable paintings. The beauty of each lies in the beholder. However, their affection is unmistakable across all who endeavor in the shared passion for a paintbrush. But what happens when you combine that passion with the calling of a higher purpose? Consider volunteers or people who serve. Find me someone who regularly shows up at their local pet shelter, soup kitchen, community, or church group, and I'll show you a fulfilled individual who altruistically continues paying things forward 1,000-fold. The same holds true for whitetail hunters. For those who are passionate about all things whitetail, and where that passion is firmly grounded in purpose, the results can be masterful. The tracts of land we hunt aren't simply landscapes across the whitetail's range. No, these people, folks like you and I who read whitetail news cover to cover, create habitat that produces some of our area's largest, healthiest whitetails. I vividly recall the moment I realized my passion and purpose were deeply connected. And not just in my desire to see mature bucks and well-nourished doe and fawns. My aspirations at that moment were crystal clear. For all wildlife to flourish on this land we've been entrusted to care for during our brief time on this earth. It was 2015. My dad, Mike, younger brother Joel, and I were struggling to clear the piles of limbs and trees we had felled around the outer perimeter of a small 24 tree apple orchard that had been struggling for sunlight, water, and soil nutrients. Flintlock season had just ended, and we were already looking for a reason to get back into the woods. Blue skies and 40-degree sunshine on a free Saturday seemed to make for the perfect opportunity to tackle the project. Unfortunately, it was the middle of winter on top of our mountain in north central PA, and 2 feet of fresh, wet snowpack challenged our very reasoning for attempting such a project that time of year. The long, stretched-out branches acted like rakes, pulling us back just as hard as we tried dragging them forward. The deep snow quickly became exhausting to push through, and each trip into the wood line resulted in tripping over hidden branches, logs, and rocks.
Remind me why we're doing this?
My dad said jokingly as he and I crossed paths between the forest and orchard. Without skipping a beat, my immediate response was ever so simply, we do it for the deer. We all laughed and continued for the next couple of hours until the job was complete, not once pausing to consider that we were likely participating in an exercise in futility, nor questioning whether we'd lost our ever-loving minds. Now, we recognize that although the work was challenging, our efforts served a greater purpose and would pay dividends for future orchard production that would benefit the wildlife we cherish. In fact, I believed so strongly in that cold February phrase that we added it to the end of our annual What Happens at PA Deer Camp Stays at PA Deer Camp NCPA Outdoors YouTube video that year, and every video thereafter, ultimately even trademarking it with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. For many who enjoy getting into the whitetail woods a couple of days a year, or weeks for those who have the opportunity, oftentimes, once the season is over, so too is any more of their deer desire. Hunting is simply a means to an end. Fill the freezer with high-protein venison, and all is well until the next year. And that is perfectly okay. There is absolutely nothing wrong with such a philosophy. As we know, hunting has been the most effective management tool for decades, and we as hunters contribute more to a healthy, stable deer population than we take. Society and white-tailed deer would forever be at odds with the unsustainable, explosive overpopulation and habitat degradation that can occur without us. To that end, deer hunting has been a rite of passage for generations, and being a part of that passion-fueled crowd, no matter the level of dedication or enthusiasm, is simply nothing to dismiss or sell short. As I considered the title for this article, I realized just how connected passion and purpose truly are. They're about as inseparable as a mature whitetail and her yearling fawns at feeding time. When you've been bitten by the bug as hard as most of us reading whitetail news have, the thought of not testing soil nutrient levels, or turning dirt, forgoing a beneficial mineral supplement program, or
not being able to plant year-round high-protein food sources, it's all just too painful to accept and seems plain wrong. The desire to provide wildlife with the resources to thrive is something seemingly hardwired into the DNA of a passion and purpose-driven land manager. Hunting is simply a byproduct of the pursuit. Finding purpose in the things you're passionate about can provide lifelong lessons and memories. For me, whether it's watching my oldest son Caden share a deeply personal connection with his 2023 buck, or my youngest son Cameron showing a beaming smile with his very first buck, also in 2023, you know you're doing your part for the greater good, helping reduce deficiencies, providing premier food sources where needed, and eliminating natural and man-made challenges. Needless to say, I don't have to remind you why we do it. Clearly, it's not for our own good, and I very much intend to keep it that way.